Alright everybody, hello and welcome as always. I am Sean, this is In The Mixer, episode 106. Happy new week, happy Monday, happy second half of the Premier League season, wherever in the world you're watching from. Now before we get started, this week is a little bit special in terms of the channel. This wonderful shirt that I'm wearing right now, designed by Jim G FM, a wonderful member of the Football Manager community, is in support of CALM, the Campaign Against Living Miserably. Their links are in the description below. Please, before you check out this episode, go and check out his content, go and check out the wonderful CALM work, and if you or anyone that you know is struggling with their mental health during the current times in the world, there's a lot of different stuff going on. Go and check out the CALM network and all the wonderful tips, tricks and support that they've got for people that might be struggling in the current climate. Alright, so as you guys can see, just above my head, we're currently in 12th spot, 22 games played, 6 wins, 8 draws, 8 defeats in that period, -3 goal difference and 26 points. Since last week where we had a couple of big games, that 1-1 draw with Norwich and then a good 2-0 win against Southampton. George Escobar from Central Defence getting up, getting the double to get us through. We then had a very good 4-0 win in the FA Cup. Most of our reserve side played in that fixture, which was good. It gave most of the first team a rest. We then had a 1-1 draw with Bournemouth, who are quite decent in the division at the moment, and then a 1-0 defeat to Man United. They are very, very good. This Serge Guardiola guy is one of the best players in the world. He was absolutely phenomenal on the day. He only scored 1, but he had like 4 or 5 other massive chances that he could have probably found the back of the net on. And it kind of goes to show why United were happy to pay £126 million for him. He was very good. We then forced a draw with Arsenal in the FA Cup 4th round, a 2-2 draw at home. Vessler and Camara getting the goals for us. They did peg us back after we were 2-0 up, which was frustrating, but these things happen. They're a good team. But we then beat them 1-0 away from home. Rosero getting the goal in the 90th minute after coming off the bench. So a wonderful strike from him. And we spoke about it briefly last week, but the Colombians are seemingly like the best option I think we have on either wing at the moment. Today we'll play Huddersfield, who are down in 14th, and Norwich, who are in 13th spot. We did, of course, play Norwich in Friday's episode, but we want to try and get 3 points against them. I think this is a really good opportunity here at the start of January to get 6 points and really push ourselves up towards like the top 10 positions. If we can do that, we're well and truly going to be clear of the relegation spots, and that's really what we want to try to avoid. I think 2 or 3 games where we don't pick up wins, we can get dragged down this table relatively quickly. You can see Norwich are only a game behind us. We want to try and keep distance from them. You can see Huddersfield are only a couple of games behind as well. We want to try and keep distance from them. So not quite as exotic as playing like Chelsea or Man United or Arsenal or anyone like that, but still massive, massive fixtures to try and keep us in the division, and that is our target for the year. As far as the squad's concerned, we've had international call-ups all over the place. It's been really frustrating over the last month or so. Most of that is due to like this weird South American Olympic Games qualifying campaign that they've been going through. It's been like a rush tournament over a week. So we've had Escobar away, Altamaranda's away, Londono's away, Sigurdsson's been injured, Torp's been injured, like all guys that you would expect to be in the starting lineup haven't been available for us, which is frustrating, but I'm hopeful we will have them back for the match against Norwich. They are out today, so magic of editing. Let's jump forward now and have a look at the 2 lineups against Huddersfield. So as you guys can see here, we've got Kubis in goal. He will wear the captain's armband today. Taylor comes in for a very rare appearance. I think this is his first start at a Premier Division level. No, he's had 1 previous, which must have been the last game that we played. Not a player I expected to use, very much just a squad player, but he comes in on the left-sided centre-back. Greisinger will play alongside him. Both of our natural central defenders or starting central defenders are currently out, which is frustrating, but we have a full squad to try and deal with this sort of stuff. Greisinger, to be fair, hasn't done terribly in the opportunities he's had. Brian Anonye, we introduced him at the start of the January transfer window. He's come in as a left back. We're going to try and continue to develop the Canadian fullback there. And if anyone watched Alphonso Davies the other week for Bayern, hopefully there's a strong lineage of strong Canadian left backs, of which we're going to have one now. Galen Benchop will play on the right. The Wolf comes back in. He'll anchor midfield with Torp being out injured. He's made a good few Premier League appearances now, only 1 off the bench. He's done all right as well. So hopefully his experience, his quality, his familiarity anchoring that midfield will help us quite a bit. Lua Barbosa plays alongside him. Aguirre at the 10. Jimmy Winter will play at left wing. Londono, of course, being away with the Colombian under-23 side. Rosero, after that wonderful winner against Arsenal, will start on the right. Kamara leads the line up top with Altamiranda out. And due to those international call-ups, due to those additional injuries, we've only got 5 on the bench. So we kind of have to be really hopeful that the players that we have out there all have relatively good games, because we don't have that much versatility in who we can bring on. Looking at Huddersfield, of course, we did get promoted up with Huddersfield last season. We have played them quite a bit over the last few seasons. They've got a very strong lineup. Patrick Cutrone was the highest scorer in the championship last season. Jasper Besky scored against us a couple of times. They picked up Jamie Shackleton from Blackburn this season. He still looks to be relatively decent. Gardner, the left back, who they've signed 2 seasons ago from Blackburn, he looks relatively solid. He's their star player so far this season with a 6.92 average rating in the league. Basso is the captain in midfield, 26-year-old English player. Came through the Southampton Academy before Huddersfield picked him up. He looks decent, but nothing super spectacular. I think we should be winning this game. I think we have a stronger lineup, even with the international call-ups and everything. And hopefully, they've got some players away at the moment as well. Assertively, we're going to say we're the favourites. Go out there, give the fans a performance to cheer for. We're going to also tell Kamara we've got faith in him, because really, he's got probably the biggest shoes to fill with Alton Miranda being out for this fixture. First highlight of the game, 6 minutes in. Ben shot with the ball on the right from the throw-in. Rosero looks to find him again, but we've coughed up possession. Basso back to Redshaw, who goes long. Grassinger does very well to trap Cutrone and win the ball back. Now Taylor, Anonye. Back to Taylor, who's lost it out to Cutrone, who's gotten goal side now. He's got wide right area. He's going to have to do a lot for the finish. Kubis does very well to block the ball. Ferreira gets 2 bites of the cherry, and thankfully we get our bodies in the way before the highlight comes to an end. So definitely an early danger. And Tyrone Taylor, we spoke about him in the build-up, probably being a little bit out of his level at the moment. He didn't play that much last season for us in the Championship, let alone now in the Premier League, and he's already coughed up possession once in the opening minutes. Right, we're through 35 minutes. We're going to demand more here, and everyone seems focused. We've finally managed to register a shot, which doesn't bode particularly well, but at least we can kind of pull the hairdryer out a little bit at halftime and say that we're not happy. Aggressively, let's say, far from pleased with what I just saw. Everyone's responded positively, but we're yet to have a highlight of our own here in the second half, and I'm contemplating, if we don't see anything here in the first 15 minutes, maybe moving to our positive structure, trying to keep the ball a little bit more. All right, we're through the hour mark now, so we're going to have a look at first making this adjustment. We're going to go from our attacking structure to our positive one, which is a little bit shorter passing, a little bit more possession-based. See if we can't drag them out a little bit to try and close the ball down. But as far as match ratings go, there's a few players that are struggling. Fessler will come on for Rosero, who hasn't carried on from last game. And Nonye, we don't have a left back on the bench, unfortunately. Now, the interesting one here is Kamara is really struggling, but Pekovic can play up front as a deep lying forward. So maybe we'll give that a go just to see how it actually pans out. And then I've learnt my lesson from the previous weeks. We're just going to hold off before we make the third sub, but assertively, we're going to say, I have faith in you. And let's also use Old Faithful, our Get Creative shout after an hour. Highlight immediately. It's a ball forward from Huddersfield. Jasper Besky on the left wing, who has given us problems in the past. Fessler nearly won the ball back, but it's played back into Gardner. Now back to Redshaw, who's a player that we actually have tried to bring in a couple of different times. We just can't seem to afford what Huddersfield want for him. Long ball forward towards Cutrone. Taylor with a good header away. Jasper Besky puts it in behind, and Cutrone with the strike. Kubis with an excellent save forces it out for the corner. And tight contest here. 65 minutes played. Ball in backstick is pretty horrific. Jasper Besky will do well to keep it in. And he sells a dummy to Tyrone Taylor, who just cleared out into row G there for a minute. Corner here again from Huddersfield. They are coming back into it here since we made that tactical tweak. We might have to push it back. And that strike from Don Antoine makes me think maybe we should go back to our attacking structure here, because we were kind of dealing with the majority of their threats. I know it's only set pieces, but still, you'd want to think, and we've had someone injured here. Ben Shot was picked up a knock. Thankfully, we've got Sean Dixon on the bench. Probably the only position where we could. All right, we're going to hit pause there. We're going to go back in tactically, and we're going to sort out some of these player roles. So Taylor, not super comfortable. Grassinger, not super comfortable. We're going to set Anonye to go forward a little bit more. Dixon to go forward a little bit more. Basically just getting everyone except Pekovic, because he's playing out of position in their preferred roles. We're going to hit play, and then we're also going to use our demand more shout in a moment when I can. We've got a highlight here from a throw. Anonye finds the Wolf, who gets in the box, squares it up towards Fessler. It's cleared away. Grassinger now out to Dixon. We've got 2 men back stick if we get the ball across. It's not a bad effort, but it's cleared out to Wolf. Strikes from distance and nearly finds Pekovic just inside the 6-yard box, but only just wide. Deep free kick here, Tavares to take. Pekovic with a good header away. Anonye clears it forward. Aguirre does very well in traffic to beat Cutrone to the ball. Aguirre goes all the way back to Kubis. We've got men on the left-hand side if we work this out here correctly. We find Taylor now. And the Wolf, lovely first-time ball out to Winter, who's got Anonye on the overlap if he can find him. Said he cuts inside. Pekovic, now to Fessler. Reverse pass to Barbosa. Can he find the finish? That was probably the opportunity for us. Walker with an excellent save to force that out for the goal kick. For the corner. Aguirre's going to take that resulting set piece now. Short to Fessler. Back to Aguirre. Can he get the ball back in the box? Well, it's pinballing around there quite a bit. Cutrone eventually gets it away. Taylor nearly resets, but the highlight comes to an end. Got additional time to be added on here. We're through a minute of it. I'm going to use our Get Creative shout. 6 minutes to be added on. Is there any late drama in this one for either side? We're through the 6 minutes now, and I think it's going to be a boring 0-0 draw. In the end, 9 shots, 6 on target, 61% possession, 11-6, 39. Maybe I'm a little bit guilty of over tweaking in that scenario. Maybe I should have just left it. As attacking, we were dealing with their threats before I moved to positive and then moved us back. But passionately here for the team talk, I'm going to say. Well, assertively, we should have won that match. Yeah, let's go with that. And everyone seems to respond as fired up, which is good to see. So not the result we wanted. It would have been great to actually win that game and get further distance. But thankfully, Norwich lost their match against Everton as well. So we don't drop down table positions at all. We still sit in 12th. See, honours were even for Silvestre Ferrero for Huddersfield, got the Player of the Match award with a 7.4 match rating. Gail Benchop is injured 4 to 5 weeks, which isn't great. And we've been fined for ill discipline for getting 6 yellow cards in the match. So what we're going to do is here, we're going to clear out the entire team. I'm going to give everybody a bit of a rest, 2 days rest, because hopefully that will include the guys that come back from international breaks. Mainly because we've had quite a bit of football here in January, as you guys can see, and that FA Cup replay might have just taken it out of us a little bit, and I really want us to be ready to go for this match against Norwich. And what we might also do is switch back to our positive mentality, being away from home, and then we've got that escalation point to try and go attacking if we need to chase the game a little bit. Magic of editing though, let's jump forward to the game against Norwich now. Right, and just like that, we are a week ahead. Now, unfortunately, the guys that are away with the international sides in South America doing that Olympic qualifying are victims of their own success because their teams have gotten through to the knockout rounds, which means they're still out. They come back in a few more days, which means they're not available, and we have a highly rotated squad again for this match against Norwich, which now kind of becomes a must-win fixture. As far as the lineup, Dixon will come in on the right-hand side for Benchop, who's injured with that 4 to 5 week ankle ligament strain, I think it was. Sigurdsson comes back in. He's only really able to get through about an hour. We'll see how he goes as the match wears on, as he makes his return from injury. And I brought in Fessler on the right-hand side for Rosero. I know we spoke about the Colombians and all they've done, but Fessler actually has the highest average rating across the last 5 games. So I'm going to go with him and see if he's in a better little run of form. Looking at Norwich, they're playing like a 3-2 or like a 5-2-3, which is the shape and formation I could not get to work at Atletico Madrid in our beta save this year. I mean, we still broke the record for points and wins in a season for Atletico Madrid with that shape, but we still got sacked. So it'll be interesting to see how that actually plays out for them. Only one holdout player, Michael Cousins, who comes through the Bayern Munich Academy, French midfielder, 32 years of age now. He's had quite the career, but has been at Norwich for this season and is their equal leading assist maker for the season. Looks like they've dropped their leading scorer, so maybe they're taking us a little bit lightly. And they've got a keeper on debut as well. Assertively, we're underdogs, no pressure on us to succeed. Let's go out there and try and get 3 points to finish off this episode and start the week right. Immediately, they've got a corner. Ball in, Kubas comes out and claims. If we get this forward on the right-hand side here, Fessler's got some time and space ahead of him. He brings it down quite well. Can he get around the full-back here? He's going to want to cut back on his left foot. Backstick runner towards Winter, who's hit the post and pinballed it around again. It's a massive, massive save for the debutant keeper, Flavio. And we clip the post and then force a save from about a yard out. We've got another highlight from the corner. Sigurdsson's flick-on header just over the crossbar. But early signs look good. Cousins with the ball in. It's pinballing around there, and thankfully we managed to get it away. I think Reisinger eventually puts it out for the corner. But that one could have finished anywhere. Scrappy contest early days. Cousins with the header. It's pinballing around again. Hannah gets a strike. It's pinballing around again, and somehow your Amponsa, I'm probably butchering that pronunciation, but he's not a real person, so no one's going to care, manages to scramble that one home, and we are a goal down inside 12 minutes. What happened here? Cousins puts it in, and Greisinger misses a header, and then it pinballs around. Hannah twice gets strikes at it, and then it's the second strike, pinballs off 2 defenders, and then falls to Amponsa, who just slides that one in at the far post. We've got a highlight here again. Wide free kick for Cousins. It's pinballing around again, and Amponsa gets another flick on just over the crossbar that time. Again, wide areas here. These set-piece scenarios are killing us at the moment. Header straight over the crossbar. We're a goal down. We might as well go attacking. And with 15 minutes remaining in the half, let's also use our Get Creative shout. Aguirre with the ball in from the corner. Greisinger near post header. That's 2 set-piece highlights that we've had. They've had a few from wide free kicks and things like that as well. Throw in, right-hand side. Elizondo plays it in. Anonio with a good header away. Now Sigurdsson just hooks it back and effectively just gives possession back to Norwich, which is very frustrating. Ball pinballs around in midfield. Barbosa does very well to take a touch around the defender and has an opportunity to run at the defence here. Strike from distance, wasn't far away. Keeper was scrambling there very late, but a good run. Wide free kick again. We might have to have a look at our set piece setup for these wide free kicks that we're defending, because we seem to get quite a few highlights, and they've hit the crossbar again before Grassinger gets it away. And then the referee, thankfully, calls halftime. At least we know what our halftime team talk will be. Aggressive. Expect to see much better showing from him in the second half. And hopefully we can fire a few players up and try and find an equaliser here. This defeat would see us drop down in table position. And I think we're a better side than Norwich. Grassinger, now to Dixon. Back into Grassinger again. Across to Sigurdsson. This highlight's continuing. Ball forward. Kamara will bring it down and turns the man and goes from distance again. Probably wasn't on. We had good numbers getting forward there. Probably could have looked to be a little bit more composed before striking from outside the box. But all right, we're through the hour mark here. We've got a couple of yellow cards we have to keep an eye on. Jimmy Winter struggling again. What are we going to do with him? Maybe Fessler moves out to the left wing and we bring on Rosero. Switch Fessler to be a winger on attack. Wrap his left foot around some stuff. Maybe Rosero can get on something back stick. Dixon's got a yellow card, which we can't really do too much about. The Wolf has a yellow card as well, so I'm going to bring on Torp just to anchor midfield as he returns from injury. And because I know better, I'm going to hold off on that last sub, which means Sigurdsson, who's really struggling for fitness coming back from injury, he's kind of going to be at high risk to get injured. Maybe in the last 10 minutes, if it's still at this rate, we'll switch out and bring on Tyrone Taylor. We've used our Get Creative shout, and everyone seems motivated, but we haven't seen any highlights for either side since. I think Norwich are trying to lock this one down. 10 minutes to go. Let's make that last sub. Sigurdsson can come off for Taylor. I just don't want to risk him for future games. Assertively, I have faith in you. Get out there, make a difference. And let's also use our Demand More shout. There's going to be 2 fixtures in this episode to start the week that are both incredibly boring. Elizondo with the throw in here. Pinballs around. Fessler plays it forward to Kamara. We've just lucked that cutting edge a little bit. I think Kamara might be on his way at the end of the season. Flavio in goal, had a very good debut, has the Brazilian keeper for Norwich. Jones, ball over the top. We should be able to recover here. Taylor, off the bench, sends one up the line for Fessler. Will he be able to wrap his foot around it and get it into the box here? Looks to cut it back, and Ponsa squares it up to Aguirre. It's pinballing around again, and I think that's like the 3rd or 4th highlight we've had in this match where the ball is just pinballing around and shots are getting closed down by defenders. There's 5 minutes to be added on. Can we use Demand More here? We're through the 5 minutes now, and the referee's called full time. It's a draw and a defeat against 2 sides that we should be beating. Your Amponce's winner for Norwich in the first half is enough to see them through. They had 12 shots, 5 on target, 37% of the ball despite playing at home. We had 15, 5 and 63% of the ball aggressively. I'm going to say, not happy with the result. And thankfully, everyone's responded positively. I think the one thing that you could point to, if you look at the morale here, like, even though we are down towards the bottom of the division, our morale is still relatively good. We're keeping everyone happy. And I think that will see us drop down into 13th spot. It does indeed. 24 games played, 6 wins, 9 draws, 9 defeats, -4 goal difference. Norwich go above us on 28 points, and Huddersfield are now within striking distance. They're on 25 points. Thankfully, Wolves, Southampton, West Brom all struggling to pick up points this season. We are still 13 points clear of any of those sides in the relegation spots. All right, as we look forward, where does that put us? I mean, the positive that we do have as well is that we've got quite a few players coming back from international duty, which is going to help us quite a bit. I think we're just going to come back and do the last 2 games of February. So we'll play West Brom and Everton off screen. Everton are actually a very good side this year. They've had some massive wins. West Brom down in the bottom. We should be winning that game relatively easily. And then we'll come back and do the game against Aston Villa in 15th and Arsenal, who we of course beat in the FA Cup. They will very much be looking to try and get 3 points against us when we go to the Emirates Stadium. And that probably sets up Wednesday to be like Brighton and Liverpool, both sides that are performing very, very well. Brighton in 4th and Liverpool in 5th as things currently stand. So as always, guys, thank you for watching. That's the part that I appreciate the most. If you want to do me a special favour this week, because we are supporting Jim G of Keep Lifting the Wrong Side and his wonderful designs for the Calm Zone and the Calm themselves, the Campaign Against Living Miserably, go and check out their links in the description below. I don't think any more of these shirts are available for sale, but you can still go and support them in a variety of different ways, so please go and do that. But like I said at the start, thank you for watching. I appreciate it a lot. I've been Sean, and I'll see you all again in the mixer.